Yeah, Destiny, do you feel like I'm running from you right now?
Real.
I do feel like you're running.
That you have like definitely some takes that I think are like pretty deplorable.
What do you think is like, I'm just curious, what's like my most deplorable take?
Parker and Dean, they have an excuse because they're young. They have a prefrontal cortex that's not quite developed enough. You're in your mid-30s. Like, how the f*** are you still a liberal?
Like,
how can you not support Trump?
I use my whole brain, and when you use all the parts of your brain all together and you think about things, it's pretty hard to be a Trump supporter.
No, it's really not. When you realize that under Trump, we became the net energy exporter for the first time in 50 years, where we had the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, where he brought the official poverty rate to the lowest it's ever been in history. Like, he brought over 4 million people out of poverty in 2019 alone. How the f*** can anybody be a liberal these days?
Well, I mean, when Donald Trump just does massive deficit spending and ruins our budget, which is the same thing that he accused Democrats of doing all the time, I don't really see anything very impressive about that. Yeah, you can bring a lot of people out of poverty and you can give a lot of money away for free if you cut and slash tax rates everywhere. You don't cut any government spending, and you add a whole bunch to the debt and the deficit. So I don't think it's very impressive. I don't think it's very impressive under Trump 1. For Trump 2, everything has been an utter and complete disaster so far. We were a net energy exporter under Biden. Biden was able to bring unemployment even lower than Trump. So, I mean, I don't know why I would give Trump
7% inflation.
Yeah, for a part, there was this thing called COVID. It happened.
Yep. And if it wasn't for COVID, Trump would have had a 1984 Reagan-style map.
No.
Yes.
No, I think Trump, well, it depends, I guess, on what you care about.
The economy
was booming because he did massive deficit spending. You acknowledge that Trump spent like crazy, right?
Yes.
Okay, then why are you bragging about his economy?
Because it was great. I mean, at the end of the day,
because he's deficit spending like crazy. If you give people a ton of money and you cut all the taxes and you keep giving the money, of course the economy is going to go crazy.
Wages outpaced inflation for the first time in like 20 years.
Yeah, because he got to cut off any of the negative impacts of all of his deficit spending by having COVID show up and then blaming all of the next problems on COVID.
I mean, that's what Biden people are doing. They're blaming everything on COVID as well. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if the election would have been November 2019, it would have been a complete blowout.
Well, if my grandma would have had wheels instead of legs, she would have been a bicycle.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It's just like people say Trump lies. Like, yeah, every politician lies. But the left lies about Trump way more than Trump lies.
Right.
Yes, I'm serious. You guys lie so freaking much. You guys hate Trump so much. The left, all they want to do is tear down successful people who have worked their ass off in life because they suck at life.
Right. That's actually my goal. That's like my life mission, is to just tear down the working class.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the working class, the blue collar wages that increase under Trump under both terms? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's my mission, to tear that down. My mission is to like promote elitism, college education, and to tear down the working class.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And my goal is to promote downward social mobility.
You guys it's just like
$5 an hour.
We're over here arguing about pronouns in America while China's building Navy ships. Like, what the fuck? They're learning engineering in Navy ships. They're about to take over the fucking world because of all you guys woke ass idiots, bro. You guys have no global intelligence whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah, I am right.
Social mobility.
And yeah.
For sure, man.
I mean, me and Steven, we grew up in the same town. We know the same people.
So,
yes.
Well,
yeah.
I grew up with the Epperts.
Oh, wait, John and
Andy.
Wait, did we go to school together?
No, but I went to elementary school with them.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I don't know how that. Well, wait. There's no way. Are those guys conservative?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Jesuit school couldn't fix all of us, I guess. You know.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to the media, yeah, you're going to hate Trump because all they do is lie about him. But when you actually look at the data doesn't lie.
Okay, I looked at the data. How am I supposed to feel about Donald Trump writing executive orders to target law firms of people that he doesn't like?
Okay, well, we'd have to go into it. That's your claim. I haven't really Which law
Okay.
firms are you talking about?
Eli, was it Eli or Owen Coin or whatever? I can't pronounce his name. Was it Eli Coin? I don't know. We can look up any. You can just look up executive order Trump law firm and look up any of the law firms that he's targeted because of people that work there that have lawyers that represented people he didn't like in the past. Like, but
I mean, yeah.
you've never heard about any of this before?
I know he's going
Oh.
after some things and some people, but I'm more worried about the global politics of everything and like.
Okay, on the global politics, every single person on the planet looks at America as a joke right now. Nobody respects Donald Trump. Everybody makes fun of him.
That's why Putin came out to say and says he respects Donald Trump so much and he respects everything he's been through. He came out and said today.
Why do you think he says that? Why do you think he says
Trump,
that and then
Trump
turns
is
around
the
and then
boss of all these dudes?
if Trump is the boss, then why is Trump truthing out how mad he is that Putin is bombing Ukraine at record pace more than he ever has before? And why was he tweeting out or truthing out that he was upset that it feels like Putin was just jerking his chain, that he wasn't able to get any peace deal signed? We're nowhere on Russia-Ukraine. Like
Because he's trying the diplomacy route first.
he said the problem's going to be solved on day one. So did he lie about that or did he just fail? Which one was it? Was it a lie or a failure?
He lied.
Okay.
I mean,
so if he's trying the diplomacy route first, where's the progress on that? Where's the diplomacy at?
it didn't work. I mean, that's why he's taking it to stronger measures. Like you can't just go to.
He's not taking stronger measures, though. We've just abandoned Ukraine. What are the stronger measures we've taken?
Okay, Trump was the one that gave Ukraine Javelin missiles in the first place when Obama wouldn't do it. So everyone acts like he hasn't been trying.
What does that have to do with
Ukraine.
5 years ago? Welcome to the 2020, man.
I'm
talking about right now. What has Trump done to alleviate any of the issues in Ukraine or Russia?
Well, I mean, I don't know. He's more worried. Yeah, well, I'm not worried about.
What's he done for Israel Palestine?
Why are we so worried about Ukraine?
You're the one who brought up foreign policy. Has he done anything for?
Yeah. He just took out the nuclear facilities of the country that wants to put a nuke on Israel and us.
Wow, good job. And they were pursuing those nukes because Trump tore up the nuclear deal that we had with them 5 years ago and didn't negotiate anything in his place. That he likes.
I mean, the USMCA was an upgrade from NAFTA, and he's the guy.
USMCA is literally the thing that he's trashing right now with Canada and Mexico. He literally just said today that he's done negotiating any trade with Canada. That was the USMCA.
Yeah, because it comes up. There's a review on it. It was a 9-year review that was automatically reviewed in 2025. So, of course, as a negotiator that he is, he's going to say that he's not happy. It's just like when you go into a car deal, you're going to say that, like, you're not happy with that price because you're trying to negotiate. Like, everyone expects him just to tell the truth, but you can't tell the truth. People.
Okay, so then he hasn't negotiated. He's still negotiating. Hasn't negotiated anything because it sounds like he hasn't negotiated that yet. He's in the process of doing it. Why am I keep being told that he's this great negotiator and he's negotiating all those things? What has he negotiated? We haven't got anything yet.
Didn't they just say they had a deal with China traded or signed? Lutnick just came out and said it. Well,
I thought. Well, he said we're done negotiating with Canada, didn't he?
China. He said
Well,
we're done
negotiating with Canada, didn't he?
Canada, as we said. Which, of course, we're not done negotiating. That's his way of negotiating.
How can it be your way of negotiating if you constantly lie about everything and nobody knows what to believe? How is that a good negotiation strategy? Can you think of a single other place in life where anybody negotiates this way and gets anything done?
Oh, yeah, like most salesmen.
How? When you go in as a salesman, you just say, I'm done negotiating. Give me 5 times my price or I'm leaving. You think people negotiate in the real world that way? Nobody negotiates that way.
Negotiate a car deal. I do that. When I negotiate car deals, I walk out all the time. And then they call me a few days later and they're like, okay, we'll take $4,000 off like you said.
If a car is MSRPing at $35,000 and it's a hot in-demand car and you go in and you say, I want this for $10K or bust, they're not calling you back. They're just going to laugh at you and you're going to leave. And that's every single negotiation that Trump has done so far. That's why we have no trade deals. We've still tariffed the whole world. We're months away from Liberation Day. Nothing's gotten done. That's why he said he solved Israel-Palestine before he came into office, and the Hamas ceasefire fell apart immediately. That's why nothing's happened in Ukraine, Russia. That's fallen apart immediately. That's why nothing happened with Iran, and we had to fly ships over there and bomb them after saying no new wars and we we're going to bomb anybody. Like, we haven't done anything. There's no deals anywhere with anybody.
It's not a war. It was a precision strike, and it was
That's fine.
great.
This is the guy who said he wasn't going to bomb anybody, though. He wasn't elected to do precision strikes.
When did he say he wasn't going to bomb anybody?
When he said no new wars.
It's not a war. He prevented the war.
Okay, so then there were no new wars then for when Biden was president that the U.S. is involved in, right?
I mean, the war started under Biden, did it not?
Where the U.S. isn't in them, we don't have boots on the ground in Ukraine or Israel.
Oh, yeah. We're sending them lots of support, though. Which one?
Iran and
Iran and
Israel.
Israel,
Sorry,
right now.
Trump.
Oh, yeah.
No new wars.
Aren't they? Well, it's a good thing to strive for, but you can't always guarantee it. He didn't have any.
So Biden couldn't always guarantee that, Israel wasn't going to bomb the shit out of Gaza. Like, okay. It's all of a sudden like anytime Biden's involved, it's Biden's fault. But if Trump is involved, well, you can't really, like, he doesn't really have power over the Middle East.
I don't know how anything could be Biden's fault when he wasn't even there.
Oh my God.
Obviously, it wasn't Biden's fault. It was the people behind him.
Oh my
Can you explain how Biden wasn't there, but they were able to pass more legislation than Trump did in his first term and will pass in a second term?
Because he's not writing the bills.
Who was writing them?
I don't know. The secret people that controlled his handlers. Like, come on.
Okay. Do you think that does it bother you that Trump is handed an executive order and somebody explains what it is to him? Like it's the first time he's ever heard it read before and then he signs it? Isn't that kind of weird? Who's writing Trump's executive orders? Do you think he's writing those?
He's probably not, but he's probably the one that's like.
If he's not writing the executive orders, then how are you mad at Biden? You're accusing Biden of not writing this, but we can see that Trump doesn't write his for sure. So you got a conspiracy about Biden. You just acknowledge a fact about Trump, but you're more mad about Biden than you are about Trump doing it?
Because they're actually Trump's ideas. He's actually the one that has the brains behind this. He's been having other people write stuff down for him, just like his tweets. You think he actually types his tweets out? No, he
unfortunately, yes. But when you say Trump has the brains behind it, you realize that Trump sounds like an idiot when he talks about basically everything, right? What does Trump talk about where it sounds like he has any idea or any understanding of what's going on?
Because he has a more of a macro understanding of things. He doesn't
name one thing that Trump has a macro understanding of besides the hair system he uses.
How to get people to do things that you want.
He hasn't gotten anybody to do anything, though. Everything has failed under him. What do you mean? He hasn't gotten any trade deals. He hasn't gotten any foreign policy wins.
Bro, trade deals take months to hash out all the details. Okay.
What else? Okay, what has Trump gotten somebody to do? He couldn't get Iran to do anything. That's why he had to bomb them. What has Trump gotten anybody to do for him?
Because he can't negotiate with Iran.
So who can he negotiate with? He can't negotiate with Putin. He can't negotiate with Iran. He can't negotiate with Hamas. Who is he negotiating with?
He is negotiating. They just got a deal done with China. Putin just came out.
We don't have a deal done with China. We have nothing with China yet.
What?
We have nothing with China yet. There is no deal yet.
That's not what Howard Lutnick said.
Okay. Well, we'll see it when it gets unveiled.
Yeah, well. All right. That's been fun.
I love you, buddy. Be careful.
You too. Like.
Okay, I'll do one more, and I gotta go.
Perfect.
Go for it.
Okay, so
I don't know why Dean is like I mean, Dean had the audacity to like call me a runner, and he's fine with debating Nick Fuentes, and apparently, I mean, you're worse than Nick Fuentes. Apparently,
I am worse than Nick Fuentes,
I
I wear that badge with honor. Okay.
it's really unique. And someone in the comments was like, well, because Nick Fuentes makes him look good, but Destiny will make him look horrible. So,
no comment.
That sounds like a bully. Okay.
Sorry, what are these politics? Like, why is Dean not here?
Good question.
Yeah, I'm sensing a bit of tension.
Right. I didn't know this was like therapy, like TikTok therapy session.
It can be. It can be whatever you like.
All right. Can it be like $1 million donation live, to fund my matcha purchases over the next few months?
That can be arranged.
Okay. Let's get that going.
That's no problem. Okay. Steven, how you going?
I'm doing great. Hi, Court. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite fine, thank you. So what's the topic?
I don't know. I guess Trump stuff. I feel like Trump's kind of bungled things up pretty hardcore since he's been in office.
Here we go. I cede my time.
Yeah, just real quick. I don't know, like, and I don't know why you're talking about me. I can't like debate right now because I got pizzas opened. We're like getting ready to eat dinner. So I don't know like why you're like unprovoked bringing my name up and trying to create this like
I don't think it's
insane like mental image of like Dean running from Destiny when I was just like getting pizza and sitting down.
You don't think? Okay, how do you think this works? When like last time you and your like maybe 1,000 followers came into my live and then started complaining that I was running from you, because we were, the rest of my panel was uncomfortable having you up and just kind of wanted to move past everything. And I wanted to talk to you because you publicly aired some like grievance without actually being specific. But you had all of your followers in here telling me that I'm running. So it's not okay if I say, hey, this is actually kind of strange. Like, you're okay with debating Nick Fuentes, but you're not okay with debating, Destiny, and you're calling me a runner. Even though you haven't responded to my DMs. I know you get my DMs.
Do you think I just have like this like? Do you think I just have like this bot net of like mindless droids that follow whatever I say, and I just send out some command telling them to?
Unironically, yes. Unironically, yes.
Okay. Well, that's like it's kind of.
But you don't find, okay, look, Dean. I don't have any like personal. I don't have any personal shit with you. But I think it is kind of strange that you went out there and you said like, oh well, I think you supporting Destiny or you supporting Z was kind of strange. And then I ask you, okay, like what was strange, what was weird about it? You don't respond to me in that chat. You don't respond to my DMs. You call me a runner in my own live and then won't come up and talk to me.
Wait, now you're trying to reframe why I called you strange?
I'm pretty sure I took a screenshot of it. You called me weird.
Yeah, wait, I called you weird specifically because you were just kind of like brushing off Z, making this baseless accusation against me of like using like the N-word hard R as if that like isn't some type of thing that can be damaging to my name or reputation. That's why I called you weird.
We clarified that the time frame, like the truth of the claim was like the actual content of what you said was true, but it was further back than it actually went.
Wait, no, now you're even wrong now. The actual content of what I said was false.
Wait, it's not false.
Yes, it is. I've never used like the N-word hard R, and that was a very specific accusation that she made.
My bad.
I do all the time.
My bad. You said the N-word with an A. That makes it so much better, Dean. That makes it actually. I think like we should probably factory farm Z for that, for like mistakenly saying that you used it with an R without an A. Like, do you really think that that's important?
Well, obviously, it was important enough for her to point out, like with excruciating detail, like 4 times, and I think that truth is important.
Look, and
do you deny that truth is important?
I think there's a pointing out of hypocrisy, not necessarily
like, look, you came up here, you addressed it.
And I'm not gonna like. I almost feel as if like
I was talking. Look. You're not gonna do this thing where you like don't let people interrupt you on your own.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude! What's going on?
What's going on is that I was in the middle of a sentence, and you do this thing on your live where you mute people if they overtalk you. So I'm going to do the same thing. If you're overtalking me, I'm going to mute you. You came up here, you clarified the whole thing about saying, actually, I don't even know if you fully clarified, but you said the whole thing about, oh, I didn't say it with an E, I said it with an A, and then you dropped. But then you came into another comment. Direct second, even though I invited you to talk about it publicly on another time. Like, this is just ridiculous.
Let me know when I could talk. Put preface on like the hard R as like pointed out as if like it wasn't just simply the usage of the term, but like in so like derogatory like in a derogatory manner like against like a black individual, which is why the preface is like important to point out, right? Your reaction on live was to be like, oh well, maybe Z didn't know, like stop going so hard on Z, like Z doesn't have to, like bro, like of course.
I never said don't.
Wait, I thought like I thought we were doing an interruption.
Because you're fucking lying. I'm interrupting.
Oh, okay, so it's okay for you to interrupt me, but then when I interrupt you, you whine about it and say this is what I do to everybody else.
Yeah, because you're lying.
Okay, well, go ahead.
You're lying. I never said don't go hard on Z. I just said, hey, here's what happened. Like, look, Z made a mistake. She corrected herself. You corrected her. I corrected her. Like, what? What is this?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I told you that I disagree. Now, if you want to like continue to rehash events from weeks ago, I mean, feel free. We could like debate what we think is like true of like what you had said in relation to what Z had said. I'm sure that it will be like super productive back and forth that will like really unfuck America. But now,
well, no, you leaving the tour was actually unfucking.
Now there's like another interruption. Can we do this?
You leaving the tour was
like,
unfucking America.
Can we do this without?
Proud?
Can we do this without any interruptions?
You're like, yeah. Well, I just want to know, do you think you're unfucking America right now? Like, you think you?
Fucking America right now? No, I'm fucking stuffing pizza in my mouth, and I'd love to stuff more down it. Preferably, where I don't hear people like you online saying that I'm running from destiny when I'm just trying to eat dinner.
You are running from destiny. You went on live saying you wouldn't debate him.
Yeah, I said on live a while ago that I won't have a conversation with him. However, your comments that you made on the stream was in reference to the fact that I was in this stream, and you're acting as if I was running from him right now today, when in all reality, I'm just trying to eat dinner with my girlfriend.
You are if you continuously refuse to talk to somebody who is open to talking to you, you are continuously you are running. Okay. You would say that about anything.
Yeah, Destiny, do you feel like I'm running from you right now?
Real.
I do feel like you're running. We had disagreements on the Z stuff, and you ran from me.
I should wait. Ran or running? Right? Because the preface of the question that I asked was like specifically in relation to this live and the fact that I don't feel as if I'm running from you because I'm trying to enjoy dinner with my girlfriend, and then people like Anne are sitting on the panel saying, "Oh, Dean, you better get up here. If you don't get up here, like."
In the future, you said that on live. I won't debate him in the future. I'm not going to debate him now. Like that is running. Yes.
So once again, I've literally already reframed this conversation in a way that would hopefully make sense to you insofar as what you said. What you said on this live was that I'm actively running from destiny because I was listening to the debates. Okay, yes, I was totally running from destiny while I was in my car going to pick up some pizza. You know,
by refusing,
that is so base.
Regardless of what you were doing, if you would have been sitting at home playing Fortnite on your fucking couch, you still would say, I will not debate destiny even though I'm not busy right now.
Oh, okay. So you're basically saying that the reason that I was running wasn't because I was busy, but it's rather because if I wasn't busy, well, then I wouldn't have talked to him. And I'll just say the same thing that Destiny said a little bit ago. My grandma didn't have legs and had wheels instead. She would have been a bicycle. So, I mean, I don't know, but like I guess like the framing that I was like running from destiny, like during this live, right, in the sense that and then for whatever reason, whoever's hosting the live, they automatically assume because Dean will not like give them their undivided attention and join the live right now and just, stop whatever he's doing and have a conversation. That therefore Dean is a runner, right? I guess that's like, the reason I came up here because that's exactly what you had said right the moment before I joined, after I didn't type in the comment section for over 10 minutes. And I was just seriously listening.
I didn't say anything about you before the comments started saying that you were here and that you should come
so you're saying that you were provoked by the comments?
Yes, I saw the comments and I said, hey, if Dean's in here, then we should have him up.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, you were not like, hey, if Dean's in here, we should have him up. You're like, no, I find it funny that Dean is
No. I didn't fucking say any of that. The thing that I said was funny is that
why are you lying
like Nick fucking Fuentes.
Why are we like trying to change what you said?
You want to pull? Okay, let's just pull the live clip.
Yeah, for sure. Like the takeaway from what you'd said was not like, oh, Dean's in here, I wonder if he'll come up. No, the takeaway from what you said was, oh, like Dean debated Nick Fuentes, why won't he debate Destiny?
That's weird.
Like preluding to the idea that Dean's running from Destiny, etc.
You'll debate a neo-Nazi,
and now my fucking pizza's getting cold.
Liberal. Like, come on. Yeah, you'll debate a neo-Nazi, but you won't debate a liberal. I found that weird.
Okay. Once again,
since you're here, look, you've spent how much time on this panel now? And you won't talk
more
to
time than I want to.
Wait, I'm curious. Can I ask a question? What happened at dinner that made me such a horrible person?
Well, I wouldn't say it was necessarily like the sit-down conversation that we had. I mean, for the most part of it, I actually enjoyed the conversation that we had. I would say it's like more that I learned about you from like in proximity to like your streams, and maybe some of the things that had happened before in the streams, a better understanding of like your idea, like of your like what beliefs you hold to be the case. Like what you think is like best for the country, for the world. I don't know if like horrible person is what I'd say. I mean, I just think that you have like definitely some takes that I think are like pretty deplorable.
What do you think is like? I'm just curious. What's like my most deplorable take? We don't have to dive in everything. I'm just curious. What is my most deplorable take?
Like off the top of my head, like a couple things that like you find to be the case that like.
Or just the number one thing. It's the number one, the most deplorable thing.
I don't know if I've been able to like rank one on the spot. I mean, I'd probably say like some comments, beliefs as it relates to Israel, and then maybe like the usage of like particular words.
What's like the most deplorable comment I made about Israel, or like the most deplorable opinion I have about Israel?
I'm sure, like if I were to like go like pull up, like various.
I'm not asking for like a clip. It's not like a make a syllogism of all the things. I'm just curious. Like, what is your impression? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and ask you to pull a quote from me. I'm genuinely. I'm just curious. What is the deplorable?
Yeah, like, general
deplorable.
I mean, I feel like I've kind of gotten the takeaway from your comments on your comments, etc., content, etc. That I'm pretty pro-Israel. You know, Israel's in the right, Palestine's in the wrong. We need to continue to be allies with Israel. You know, what the hell is a conditional allyship? We should continue to send them money, guns, bombs, etc. Continue to kill the Palestinians, provoke Iran, create more global conflict. You know, drop more bombs and like violations of like the UN's principles and international law. ICJ sucks, etc. Like, I think that there's like kind of like a group of beliefs that I disagree with that I think would have like some negative implications, ethically speaking. Okay. But
have you heard me say any of these things, or have you heard other people say I say these things?
Probably a culmination of both. But if you're going to ask me for like a specific scenario where like you said one of these things, I won't be able to give it to you.
No, I'm not. I'm not here to pull quotes. That's like they do this here. Okay, I'm just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so, I mean, like I don't know, like beliefs as it relates to Israel, and maybe like a couple other things like usage of terms. Like I haven't heard you say this specifically, but I've heard like friends say this about you, like, you know, I don't know if like you necessarily seem like much of a big deal with like the usage of slurs, and like maybe there's some like derogatory language that you don't really care too much about. There's like another one, I guess, and I feel like that's a big section where we disagree with, but I mean that just is as it relates to like the beliefs that you talk about on live. Maybe like there's like a couple things that you've done like in your personal life that like would like make you have a bad character. I'm sure there's like a long list of those. So it's like a culmination of like the beliefs in which you hold to be the case, whether it's like politically speaking or socially speaking, and then like a culmination of facts of your character and prior actions.
Okay, all right, just curious.
But like not Nick Fuentes though, not Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, no, I definitely say that Nick Fuentes is worse than Destiny. I mean, anybody that would disagree with that is kind of crazy.
Right. But like you're willing to debate Nick Fuentes, but not Destiny.
You know, in retrospect, I probably wouldn't have debated Nick Fuentes. Like if I could do it all again, I would probably like save myself like the time and the energy and the effort. Dude, those gripers, they fucking suck. Let me tell you, they're definitely a very hostile fan base.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow, cool. Well,
I'm going to go ahead and drop it. Then once again, I mean, the reason why I came up here, and I don't really feel like you're too responsive, and was just.
Well, you called me weird. You publicly called me weird while all of your followers were in the comments.
Yeah, I did think
and then you wouldn't let me address it.
I did think that.
Wait, I'm curious. Wait. I'm curious. Just as a quick, random, final question. Do you acknowledge that I've never said that we should call people like racial slurs, but there are other large leftist content creators, I won't say their names, but it rhymes with Asan, that say that it's okay to call people certain racial slurs like Gusano or Cracker?
I mean, maybe we could have a conversation about what a slur is. I don't know if like as it relates like against like white people in general, like Cracker is going to be a slur. Isn't like that specifically a slur against like Irish immigrants?
I mean, even if it was a slur against Irish immigrants, is that still not a slur? Are Irish people not human?
Well, I mean, I'm like based upon like the historical connotation of this of the term. Like, I do think it was actually used as like a very derogatory term against Irish immigrants. But I mean, so like maybe like there's an arguable case there. But as it relates to like the usage in like broader society, I don't know if it like meet my criteria for what I consider to be a slur.
There are no slurs against white people at all. That's not possible.
I think that like the broader takeaway from you know, like what your question was as it relates to Hassan. I mean, I don't think that like Hassan's like a good dude either by any means. You know, I think that maybe that's misinterpreted about me a lot, is because like I'm not a fan of Destiny. This must mean that I'm a fan of Hassan. Now, like I think I've had like some civil discourse with him, but there's definitely also like some facts about him that I disagree with as well. I mean, I made that pretty public, like reacting to this content nuke and whatnot. And as it relates to your question, saying is it like not possible like slur white people? Well, I mean, I'd say that like the term cracker probably doesn't meet my criteria for what a slur is, but I'm gonna go.
What about like pasty white boy or redneck or white trash or?
I mean, definitely.
Are there any slurs against white people or what?
A racial slur? I mean, sure. We could probably consider there to be like like some slurs under like a particular usage of the term. But like, I guess the reason why I'd be maybe against that idea is because when I think of like slur, I think it's something that's like and like enormously wrong, like invoking some like greater sense of oppression against an individual or a group of individuals. And I mean, like, you could probably assume that I would like hold to a different depiction of like what racism is compared to what you do. And maybe like a reason why I'd be like less willing to use like the term slur in relation to like derogatory terms against white individuals is because I don't think that they'd like fit like a particular depiction of like being like incredibly racist or anything, and like the harm that it would generate. But I mean, like,
would it be okay to use slurs against like Jewish people in the United States, since they're generally wealthier, more educated, don't experience like massive societal oppression or anything? And in the U.S., there are like no slurs against Jewish people.
Well, I mean, I think that there definitely is slurs that exist against Jewish people. I mean, I can think of a couple off the top of my head.
Why would they be slurs if they have like majority power status in the U.S.? They're not currently being oppressed by any systems or laws or people.
Sure, I'll answer this question. However, after I answer this question, I'll probably go and eat my pizza before it gets cold. But I mean, I'll like give you the credit of answering a question before I head off. Like the reason I'd be like more willing to classify maybe like the K word as a slur against like Jewish individuals, but not like cracker as a slur against white individuals, is because like, you know, like the origins of the term was definitely like used as like an incredibly oppressive term to like further the dehumanization of like Jewish individuals, and like aided and abetted in like their systemic like slaughter. But I mean, as it relates to like the term cracker, you know, like what's like the historical usage of the term as it related to some like greater system of oppression to like systemically slaughter white people?
Is systemic slaughter the baseline for when you consider a thing a slur or not?
I don't know if it's going to be necessary, but in this sense, it would be sufficient. And like, I just don't know.
Should I be able to call? What about like African immigrants? Should I be able to call African? Should I be able to call African immigrants the N word as long as I don't use the N word against like African Americans? Like, if somebody comes from Nigeria or Kenya, like these aren't like African American slaves in the United States. Is it okay against them since they have a different background and that word wasn't used to like systematically oppress or to slave those specific nationalities? Or
I did tell you that I was going to head off after the last question that you asked me.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
However, I don't mind like answering one more.
Yeah, go for it. You can have the last word on it. Go for it. I want to ask you another one.
If that makes any sense. So, I mean, yeah, as it like relates to usage of like the N word. So like, yes, this is going to like be sufficiently defined as a slur because of like the oppression of African Americans inside of America. However, like, I'm sure that there's like various other reasons why we'd say that it is still considered a slur to use that against like African individuals that didn't experience the oppression of like an African American in American history. And I wouldn't mind like going through those reasons with you. In fact, you know, like what I will say is it might even be useful to like have more critical dialogue on like why you know, like words are slurs or derogatory in general, and like why it's wrong to use these words, and why like large groups of people shouldn't use these words regardless of the context or intent. And the reason why I'd say that would be beneficial is because I do feel like for the most part, a lot of individuals.
I don't know what the running norms are on this platform, so I'll delegate that to other people. And I'm just sitting here in the corner. I don't know what the running norms are on this platform, so I'll delegate that to other people. And I'm just sitting here.
Can kind of be a mutual agreement here is like, I'm fine with saying, okay, look, you finally talked to Destiny, you're no longer running or whatever. As long as you're going to stop this thing about like calling my defensive Z weird and then, you know, not letting me respond to it. And then having your fan base like call me a runner for that. I think that's a little bit hypocritical.
I mean, what's hypocrisy?
Look, when you're saying, you know, when you're holding one standard that you're also not going to apply to yourself.
So what's the standard?
The standard was making a claim about me and not letting me address it, and then calling me a runner when I said, hey, we can't talk right this second, but we could talk in a future time.
Right, even the two things that you just said contradicted themselves, because you said on one hand that I made a claim against you and I didn't let you address it, but on the second claim as it relates to me, like calling you a fucking runner, that's because you told me that you wanted to talk to me. I was like, okay, I'm going to let you address these things. Let's have a conversation. And then you backed out. So
I gave you, okay, hold on. That's not me backing out. I gave you the exact reason. Do you remember the reason that I told you that I couldn't talk to you right that very second? just like you say, okay, well, I scroll in live and I see these fucking rando, like F tier debaters on TikTok, and they always think that I'm running from them because I'm not coming up to debate them. Well, that's exactly what you did to me. Was I said, okay, like, look, we can talk about this now. I talked with the rest of the people on the panel. They said, hey, no, we don't want to talk to Dean right now. And, I had further discussion with them, and they said, actually, you know what? It's fine. Maybe have Dean on 10, 15 minutes later. And you said, no, I can't debate now.
Oh, okay. Well, given the additional context, you didn't run.
Okay, look, so that's fine. Look, I won't call you a runner. Don't call me a runner. And don't call me a weirdo publicly without, talking.
I definitely don't take back the weird comments, but I will take back the runner comment given the additional context you just provided.
Wait, I gave you I gave you that context initially, but that's neither here nor there.
Hey, Dean, I'm just
initially?
wondering, do you think it's weird that you're not trying to build electoral power when we have Trump in office right now?
Do I think it's weird that I'm not trying to build electoral power?
Wait, you don't think that that's weird?
No, I just repeated the question that you asked me.
Okay.
God.
I'm glad that you know.
Oh God, I got myself trapped in a conversation. Jesus, my pizza is officially cold, and I didn't even get around to the cinnamon bites. No, I wouldn't say that's weird. No.
You don't think that that's weird? And you don't think that that's like a little bit of a privileged take?
So I wouldn't say that it's weird that I'm not like delegating a lot of my focus to like a very specific task to build electoral power. On one hand, I'd say like doing so ground up into investment in like electoral power. Like I'd say just because like I have like particular interests that maybe other people like in like the political ecosystem don't have. That doesn't make me weird. Like I'm pretty sure that like a functioning political ecosystem on the left would like include like a diversity of interests and actions, such as like a group of people over here like focusing on building an electoral power, and then a group of people over here maybe like focusing on trying to convince people on the other side of the aisle that they're wrong, and then maybe like a third group of people focused on like educational content, and maybe like a fifth group of people focused on like building the left up by seeking
I
out
get what you're saying, but I think it's weird to focus on taking down people that are trying to build electoral power when we're meant to all be on the same side. That's what I think is weird. I don't think it's weird that you have different interests. That's fine. But when you're in the comment section of every single live trying to tear us down, that's the part that I think is weird.
Wait, when you say like tear you down, you mean like critique you?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What do you mean by tear you down?
Well, in the way that, I mean, do we have to go over the entire events of the last few months, or?
You're like talking about like all my critiques of you. Like no, I don't think that like that's weird. I mean, I think it's like totally fine for me to say that I worked with somebody. I really didn't enjoy working with them. Here's like a handful of things, X, Y, and Z, in which they did when I was working with them that I didn't enjoy, that I thought were wrong. And like when addressed, like accountability was not seen. So now I'm gonna divest my interests. And like I hope that they're able to have success, but at the same time, I really hope that they could like kind of realize like, the wrong decision they've made, and maybe like take accountability and just recognize that they can make better decisions in the future. Like I don't think it's like weird for me to like do any of those things.
Yeah, I think it's weird 2 months later that you're still like obsessed with being in the comment section and giving your opinion on something that you claim that you moved on from.
You think it's weird that 2 months later I'm obsessed with being in the comment section? What do you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because essentially, if we're all on the same side and we're all trying to build electoral power in whatever way that we're trying to do that, whether you're doing it through debates or there are people
in like seemingly like the Unfuck America tour has now become like marginally less efficient. These like Ann's takeaways saying, well, let's no longer focus on like Stephen debating Trump supporters or maybe what the Unfuck America tour is about, and let's rather focus on the fact that Dean Withers is in the comment section running from destiny.
You think us hosting like 3 lives a week is me focusing purely on you? Girl, I do not think about you. I want you to know that. I genuinely, unless you comment in a live, I don't think about you.
Anne couldn't have said it better myself. Z, go ahead and take what Anne said, but instead of it being Anne directed towards Dean, make it Dean directed towards Z.
I don't understand what you're saying. All I'm asking, Dean, is honestly...
That one was easy.
Honestly, Dean, though, I don't understand this like need to be in such opposition to what we're doing. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. Just say, wait, who cares, right? Like, just move on.
Wait, what do you mean? Like such strong opposition? Dude, I voiced my concerns. I made it very clear where I sit. I made it very clear where I
Yeah,
think
you did.
sit.
You made it very, very
And then
clear.
ever
So-
since then, I mean, you haven't seen me like with like fucking like pitchforks and like a 7-hour live every day, like saying, "Oh, the Unfuck America tour needs to go." Like, no, I voiced my concerns. I gave my critiques, and like honestly, at this point, I've kind of disengaged. However, like I haven't like thereby like fallen from the positions that I've hold. And I don't know, like you just kind of sound butthurt.
Disengaged.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I guess it's very clarifying to me that you said that you're not really here to build electoral power. So that's actually answered a lot of what my questions were, because I thought that you were. So the fact that you're not, okay, that's fine.
Okay, now you're just equivocating. So what I specifically said is I'm not relegating like most of my focus into building like a ground up foundation dedicated to like holding electoral power via like hiring like canvassers to get out there and get individuals registered to vote. And then I went on to like give an explanation of like the political ecosphere and how like my interests more so align with like A, educational content, and B, debate content insofar as informing individuals on the left and trying to get individuals to go from the right to the left. And like your takeaway from that is that, oh, I'm just not focused on electoral power at all. Like, what do you ultimately think that what I do amounts to? It amounts to more electoral power by convincing more people of progressivism, right? Now, what I was just simply stating was that the method in which I am using to build more electoral power on the left is not going to be identical to the method in which you're asking me if I think it's weird that I'm not doing, which is building up a ground-up foundation to like get people to get out there and vote, maybe like a PAC.
That's not all of
etc.
what building electoral power means, Dan.
Okay, well, that's not all of what building electoral power means. Like referring to
It
like, a
also
PAC or
just
something like the
means
American tour.
building out an
Well,
infrastructure of people that want to support each other, like what the right does so well. We've had this conversation in private before. You did agree with me when we did have this conversation.
I've agreed with you in private that we shouldn't tear down anybody on the left. I don't think
No,
so.
you agreed with, no, not that. You agreed with me that the right does that very well, that they help each other to build electorally throughout their right media infrastructure.
Oh, that the right does that well? Oh,
Yes.
Fuck yeah, the right does that well.
And
Are
the
you
left
kidding me?
doesn't, right? Like,
I would say that the right does it better than the left. However, I don't think that opens the door into essentially saying that the left just needs to, accept any action from any person at any point in time, regardless of what that action is. And I think that is a massive jump that you make that I don't support. And in fact, I'd even argue they don't truly make that jump. Because if you truly made that jump of saying that the left is so like poor in the sense of building out electoral power and pulling people together, and the right is so good at it, therefore the left just needs to concede any and all, forms of like criticism, red lines, etc. Why are you criticizing me right now?
well, there's a way to do that behind closed doors, which is what I'm sure they do on the right all the time.
Yeah. Wait, Z, we're not behind closed doors right now. You should stop criticizing me so we don't hurt the electoral power of the left.
I'm not criticizing you.
Oh, you're not criticizing me?
I mean, we're pointing.
Like me saying my opinion.
Okay, so the more followers you have, the less you should criticize.
Well, also, Dean, I tried
individuals.
to have this conversation with you in private before you went on a live in front of 10,000 people saying that I should not. On a live in front of 10,000 people saying that I should.
Conversation with me in private, and then I went on the live. That sounds like a criticism to me.
That's the truth.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's okay to criticize individuals insofar it's the truth. Well, I mean, that's what I'd say to you, Z.
I don't know what you're saying at this point. I think you're lost in the sauce.
That was incredibly easy to track. You just said that it's okay to criticize people.
Dean, I
as a
never
criticism
openly
is true.
hold on. I never
That's what I
openly
said to you.
criticized
I
you
think it's
until you
completely
openly
I
criticized
think,
me.
hold on. I think it's completely dishonest because we went 5 months, thousands of videos from a bunch of like left-wing creators openly going, bonkers on us. Well, those of us didn't actually do much for criticizing you guys at all, or make counter videos, or do any of that stuff. Didn't leak a bunch of text, did nothing. So to sit here and be like, oh, you can't criticize me on this one live, I think it's dishonest in comparison to the past 5 months. We're not saying necessarily that we can't criticize you on this live. We're I guess highlighting the hypocrisy of, oh, you can't say that we can't criticize you on this live when the whole entire past 5 months has been extreme criticism.
Okay, so yeah, Mercedes, you're saying
half of
that
it
it's hypocritical for me to say that you guys can't criticize me on this live when I've been criticizing you guys before this live. Well, like Mercedes, that's kind of my point. Like the point of me saying that like Z can't criticize me, that's not going to be from my perspective. That's going to be from like y'all's perspective.
Yeah, but what
I think that you just implicitly agreed to this because you're saying that all the like criticism over the last 5 months has been terrible because we shouldn't be criticizing people on the left because we should be building more electoral power. But then here you are criticizing somebody on the left today, and seemingly you can't even deny my argument here because you called it hypocritical.
Yes,
You tried to take down an entire organization, and even after you did that, none of us made any negative videos about you.
Whoa, what, dude? Okay, I'm so sorry. I just saw something crazy in my text messages. I just got a text apparently saying that you Z were defending Ray Ray.
I was not defending Ray Ray. We can go over this whole thing.
No, I don't. I mean, listen.
And here we like, and this is what I mean, Dean, is like, you're always looking for something to come at me about, and I'm not sure why. Because honestly, even after all of this, I still invite you to the tour. You are still more than welcome to come and debate. You are still more than welcome to join us because ultimately, what I want to do
swear to God,
is work together to build electoral power. But I don't think that is your purpose here.
Oh wait, apparently you compared Ray Ray to me debating Nick Fuentes? I don't. That's
what? First of all, I think
it's like text about from
the info room. It's coming.
Yeah, this is the anonymous texter.
The anonymous texter. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's Parker, tell him I say hey, miss him. Hope he's doing well.
Listen. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna heat up my pizza and eat it. So the pizza's cold. I personally blame every single person on this panel.
What a tragedy. Right, for you consensually coming up here.
Yeah, Trump is still in office, and we're still trying to defeat MAGA locally, but go heat up your pizza.
People are dying, Tim.
I'll leave it for this. So as it relates to kind of what you just said, I will say this. Like if you guys go out, continue the tour, I hope it's successful. And when I say successful, what I mean is like I hope you're able to go out there and to convince as many individuals as possible that they shouldn't support Donald Trump. I hope that you're able to convince as many individuals as possible to register and vote for Democrats in the midterms in the next general election. The fact of the matter is, this is something that you're doing, and I hope that you are as successful as possible as it relates to it. And I'd hope that anybody and everybody listening can agree. However, right, I feel like you failed to recognize that like there's critiques that are true. There's like really good reasons why maybe like it shouldn't be you that's doing this, and where there's other people that might.
Dean, what are the good reasons? Because still to this day, you still have not explained what the good reasons are. Especially the day after that live, you literally told me that person that started it is just a chronic online agitator that does this to everybody, including yourself. So what exactly is such a big problem with me running the tour? I don't understand.
Okay, what you just said was like completely fucking false, by the way.
Dean, I have a text message. Don't make me show it.
No, you've already showed it. You've already posted it everywhere.
Next time, do it over. I mean, you told me most of this over the phone. But
I don't even know why like you're fucking lying right now. So you have a text message. Yes, you are.
I have the message.
Yeah, and what's the date of the message?
I can show you. Like I can actually.
It's like fucking 3 weeks. It's like fucking 3 weeks before you went up on Geek's Live. Don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. It's like fucking 3 weeks before you went up on Geek's Live and did what you did, and then everything else transpired. And
Dean, I never was on any other live. What are you talking about?
Great.
I was never on any other live, so I don't know.
Okay, just let me know when I can finish. Yes, you specifically were on the live where Tashika had joined, and then she said that she had no issue calling for my death. And then we're on a fucking rant about how I'm like the worst person ever. That's the individual that I was calling like this chronically agitator.
Agreed.
Because she literally wants to agitate individuals into thinking that it's okay for me to die.
Yes, agreed.
And you're trying to misrepresent that text that was sent 3 weeks before you went on Geek's Live as me calling like Geek and everybody else involved in like the original critique of the tour.
Dean, we didn't even
chronically
meet.
online agitators.
Dean, we didn't even meet 3 weeks before the tour, so that's not
what
true.
Was it, like 2
I was
weeks?
only on one live. It was that live. Tashika was on that live, and you were referring to Tashika. So if you know that she's an online agitator, and you sent that to me warning me that she's an online agitator, why is that grounds for me not running the tour?
Wait, I'm confused. Wait. I'm confused of what you're saying. Are you saying that like I think that you shouldn't run the tour because of Tashika?
Yeah, you said that I shouldn't run the tour because of microaggressions, because of that live. But you also said in the same breath in that live that she's an online agitator.
Okay, wait. So first and foremost, there's about a billion other reasons why I don't think that you're a good fit leader.
Dean, what are you talking about? I talked to you. Hold on. I talked to you on the tour like 3 times, and every single time we had a conversation was all good times. We hugged before you left. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I did not
I'm so
fucking-
confused.
I did not hug you before I left. I don't even know why
Yes,
you
you
lied.
did. You literally
you-
did.
you
I
were-
hugged
you were
both
lying
you and
about
Parker.
this,
I dropped
just
both
like-
of you guys off at the airport.
You were lying about this, just like you lied about the prior thing that you said in relation
Dean,
to the text
what are
message
you
I sent
talk-
you.
what are you
referring to individuals.
talking
Like, I don't
about? I
know
talked
like
to
what
you
is like
3 or
driving
4
you to simply
times.
lie about these things.
How we lied about
Dean, I talked to you 3 or 4 times on the tour, and none of those times was ever a bad conversation.
Right. Now, okay. So now we're getting into something that is true. So appreciate you for hopping off the hill that you were trying to die on, lying about me. I don't even know why you lied about
I
that.
literally
Anyways.
hugged you guys before you left, and everything was fine. There was
don't-
no issue at all.
I have
in
no
fact, I was in
clue.
communication with you guys when we came back from the tour, and there was no issue at all.
Literally, like, no clue why you lie about that. But
Yeah,
anyways,
I was
as it
talking to
relates
Parker about him going to California to follow Charlie on the next
as it
stop.
relates as it relates to like good conversation on the tour. You know what? Honestly, man, I've already addressed that. I'm gonna go eat my pizza. You guys have a good rest of your night. I'll say this like one last time. I'll repeat it.
It's just so funny, Dean, because you have nothing to say. I was great working with you. I have no problem with you. I think you're good. I think
All right,
you're
yeah.
good at
Oh,
what you
yeah.
do.
30 minutes ago to eat dinner, and now his girlfriend
Dean, nobody's
voluntarily
crazy.
took the pizza, heated up, and put it on a plate in front of him just because I want to eat dinner with my girlfriend.
Well,
okay.
you have free will.
All right, fine.
Come on.
All right, fine. All right, fine. Okay, I have nothing to say. Okay, here's what I have to say. I'll go ahead and open my mouth and respond, so then it's not like, oh, Dean's a runner and whatnot.
Oh
So
my
you said
God.
that, on the tour, I was able to like speak to you professionally and have good conversation. Of course, I'm going to uphold some standard of professionalism in these events. This is already something that I've talked about online. This is already something that I've addressed on my live. And you're now acting as if I have no valid critiques of you or why you should be a leader of an organization like this. There's plenty valid critiques of you, apart from the ones of which are popular. The ones in which are less popular is the fact that you try to fucking send an NDA out to everybody on the tour, preventing them with
Dean,
working
you
with
and
other people on the
Parker-
tour 3 years later. And then when I told everybody to not sign that NDA, you then called me and you blew up on me, screaming at me just because
I did
told
not
people
scream at
not
you,
to-
Dean. That is
Yes, you
horrible.
absolutely did. No,
You're
just because I
lying.
told people to not sign an NDA that would sign away their rights to work with other creators for 3 years. Like
That's
that's like
actually
a perfect
not-
other
First of
reason
all,
why this
Dean,
is.
you signed an NDA. You signed
yeah.
the same NDA that we sent to everybody else.
Oh, that's not true. No.
Yeah, no, it's literally it's the exact.
Wait a second. Wait. Wait. Just real quick. That was a big claim. There's an NDA that was being signed that would restrict people from working with other people for 3 years.
Yeah, no, that's not true. Why would we do that?
That was
Like
the-
these
that
are
was the
all people
fourth
that are
section of the
independent
NDA.
contractors. They're creators. Like
Wait,
why?
make the NDA
like-
public then. Make it public.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
It was section 4 of the NDA. I mean, like that's like, come on, like anybody on the trip could make it public as well.
No, what it did say was that other creators couldn't talk badly about other creators on the tour. That's true.
There's particularly a section that prevented creators from working until one another, and it wasn't even 3 years; it was 7.
No, that's just
Wait,
not.
what you're talking about would be unenforceable, probably in every state in the U.S., but definitely, at least in California, where a lot of people are. That would be, first of all, that's not even an NDA at that point. That's like an employment contract. Non-disparagement clauses, I think, are fairly common when it comes to signing things with companies. They usually don't want you disparaging them afterwards. But something that would restrict employment for 3 or 7 years after, that would be insane.
Yeah, that is insane.
and also it's a
that's why
template.
I told people not to sign it because
Well,
it is
Dean,
insane.
also-
Well, it's
the
insane
NDA
such that, like, I can, without having seen any of this, and no offense to anybody else, I'm not saying my reputation and these people here, like, knowing these people well, I just don't think anybody would send an NDA like that out. That's not even an NDA. That's like an employment clause. Even without knowing anybody here or vouching for them, there's no shot that there was an NDA sent out that would have restricted employment for 7 years. I don't believe that. There's no way
Yeah,
that.
and also like there were
Well,
people
feel free
that
to- feel free to make
messaged.
it
There were
public.
people that messaged us saying, "Hey, can you change this clause or that clause?" And we just changed it, and they signed it, and it was fine. Like
I
there's
don't
no.
I don't even like know. I don't even know how this started. So all this started from Anne saying, "Oh, Dean is running from Destiny." So then I come up here, I turn on my camera, I show you my pizza, and I was like, "No, I'm not running. I'm just eating my pizza." Then I was gonna drop after that. Next thing I know, the pizza's gone. All the bags are packed. Even though I just spent a decent.
I think you should
amount of
just
money
kill
on
us
dinner.
on the spot for that. I think we should just
and
all
then-
align on the spot for that.
And the next thing I know, I'm already on this live for like another fucking like 30, 40 minutes. Even though like I tried to set like 3 red lines saying, I'll answer this one last question, then I'm going to go eat
So
my
Dean, let's
double
just make
dinner.
a truce, and you can move on. You can enjoy your pizza. We all shake hands, and we agree that we're here to stop Trump, and we're good.
Wait, my position's not going to shift. Like I already said, like I hope you guys are successful because you're already doing it. You know, go out there, get people registered. But like I mean, I don't think that like you're like qualified to
I'm not qualified. Dean, I've been working in electoral politics since 2010. What makes me not qualified?
Yeah,
for my
and
position?
Donald Trump's been working in real estate since the 70s. What the fuck?
But what makes me not qualified for the job?
Sure. I mean, all the critiques, the long list of critiques that I have to you. If you'd like, I could send them in an email, but I'm going to go eat my pizza now.
Oh, okay, enjoy. Wild.
You guys have a lot of meta conversations on here. Is that normal?
Not really.
I feel like when I listen to all you guys, not just maybe different platforms, but I feel like on TikTok, I feel like 80% of the talking I hear is like talking about the talking. I feel like there's a lot of meta conversations. Holy.
It's got a great.
The funniest thing is him calling you unqualified, but then like when the tour originally blew up, they also said they were going to continue the tour and find another organizer, and it's like 5 months later, and that just hasn't happened.
Yeah, I don't know. That was wild. Well, at least we made a truce.
Good stuff. He wants us to be successful. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's the best we're gonna get out of Dean.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, listen, I have to sleep. Okay. Not sleep, but I have work I have to do. It's late, and I'm already past my time, so I love you guys. I'll do the debate with that one person at a future time. Okay?
Yeah, you're
Thank you for having me.
Steven. Thank you.
Yeah. Have fun. Be careful. Bye.
Bye.
I feel so crazy. I feel like Dean said he had to leave like 7 times. And he's like, I have one more thing I have to say, and then I'll be right back. Or I have one more thing I have to say, and then I got to go. And then one more thing I have to say, and then one more thing I have to say. Like, holy shit.